Chapter 43 General Communication, Political Decline, and Welfare System Collapse. A first warning. All persons in this book are fictional. Every claim, regardless of topic, is precisely that, a claim. Some are rooted in empirical facts, while others are pure fantasy. My goal is to balance between vision and reality, between fiction and fact in such a way that the audience can recognize themselves and build further on the multitude of ideas and inventions. The book has no ambition to preach an overarching purpose, but rather questions accepted truths. In that way, in a Socratic manner, the rest is left to the reader. A hallmark of human failure is incomplete communication. We have an expression: to talk past one another. It happens all the time. We talk past one another and misunderstandings arise afterwards. Perhaps we mean well to begin with, but things get muddled during the conversation. When communication breaks down so easily between individuals, what about between nations? We will examine this phenomenon. But first we choose to look at it from above, like a wise owl flying high above the firmament. A wise owl that sees the broad strokes of the Earth's condition. We find ourselves in a satellite. We have a truly magnificent view. We see the large continents. We see areas where people cluster together. We do not see national borders but can recognize some countries by their geographic outlines. Right now we see Italy, this European nation with enormous influence on the entire world. We dive down into the area of Naples. We take a trip into the music conservatory there. We turn the clock back a couple of 100 years. We see people and families celebrating one another, building strong local communities despite recurring epidemics, hunger, and poverty. People die in great numbers. Some grow up in this stench of death, yet are determined not to die. They travel just outside the city walls and gradually build a home for the future. They had seen all the misery in their beloved city. Why did so many die in Naples? Closer investigations determine that viruses brought by foreigners played a role. Naples was a favored destination for seafarers from all nations, but there was no control over their health. However, the new group outside the city walls worked on mapping what constituted Naples's identity. The conclusion was culture, painting, theater, music, and stage performance. They divided tasks and brought in participants representing all artistic categories and began fundamental work to provide the selected individuals with both positions and wages. Regarding wages, this was not easy. The monetary system was corrupt, and money was only fresh currency where events took place. All right, so we must obtain money. We must set something in motion. Something many people will want to come to. The group worked hard and succeeded. They ended up with an enormous amount of money, and they invested in Naples's infrastructure, eventually becoming the most powerful in the city. They bought properties. They bought everything that yielded profit. The city blossomed, activity returned, people gathered in streets and squares. There was no shortage of customers, they poured in. Rumors about Naples spread quickly, and Rome began to transform in the same way. The great cities of Italy experienced a renaissance, and the cultural life flourished in parallel. The owl in outer space has moved. The owl in outer space now hovers over Japan. She looks down at an archipelago, a relatively small one. But she has all the knowledge of artificial intelligence in her mind. She actually knows quite a lot. Okay, she estimates this country to be the most future-oriented nation in the world. This is due to the Japanese people's diligence and thirst for knowledge. The Japanese also take pride in their own culture. They are not afraid to promote Japanese culture to the outside world. They work hard and with dedication to ensure that all Japanese people are included in society. Yes, they know that many major nations are knocking at their door. They know that the liberal West wants entry. But the Japanese remain faithful. They stand loyally for Japanese values. They do not yield. The owl in outer space sails onward to a completely different continent, Australia. A completely different world. A vast, unexplored landmass that took on a European character when large groups of immigrants from Europe entered the country, especially the English, who were in the majority. Over time, and quite quickly, the English population grew dramatically. The indigenous people were driven further inland, and the English built bigger and bigger settlements, especially on the east coast. But even today the native population is displaced, and the new race has taken over the entire continent.